That's right. It's your Joe's back again, under the weather, but we're here for the people. What's going on, Dave?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going?
Oh man, I'm getting along here today, losing my voice a little bit, a little stuffed up, but that's okay. We ain't gonna take a day off. We gotta be here for the people. We gotta deliver the content. So we just gonna soldier through and want to say Happy Veterans Day to all the vets out there. Thank you guys so much for your
Absolutely.
service to our country. I personally got a lot of vets in my family. My grandfather was in the military. My uncle was in the military. My mother was actually in the military for a few years. Um, so, man, we got a lot of military folks around, and again, we certainly do appreciate you guys and all you do. Certainly. Do you got any military family, Dave?
Yeah, my uncle and my dad,
Oh wow.
both of them, both in the military as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, again, want to thank everyone for coming back this week. Again, I do apologize about my voice. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm not going to skip a beat for the people. We appreciate you guys, so we're going to be here, rain, sleet, snow, shine, whatever. I want to thank everyone again behind the scenes who's getting the word out about the podcast. We appreciate you guys once again. And again, don't forget to take 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, 2 seconds, like the video, subscribe to the channel, please. We really want to get to 175 to 200 subscribers for the end of the year. Help us out. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. And again, be interactive with us. Comment, answer the questions of the week. Wrong answers accepted too. We appreciate that. You can visit
Yeah,
us
definitely.
on Facebook at the Average Joe's Fantasy Football Podcast, and on Instagram, Average Joe's Fantasy Football _ between each word. Yeah, man, I think we gave them a pretty hard question this week. We got no guesses.
Yeah, not zero, not even an attempt. I was like,
Not one.
wow.
That's a good one then, man. That's a good one. Now I should have put the chips on that one. I'll still have the chips then. We actually got the chips in. Malik Burris, I'm shouting you out here. We did get them in. We couldn't send it out today because the post office was closed, but hopefully we'll have those out to you tomorrow, and you hopefully should have those by the end of the week or early next week. Again, we do appreciate you being interactive with us and commenting on the question of the week. So we're going to keep running the same question of the week for a couple more episodes here. Hopefully someone can get it. If not, we'll switch it up. All right. Do you have that again handy? I should have kept that my doggone self. Do you have that handy, Dave?
Yeah. Yeah. I was pulling it up right as we were talking about
Okay.
it. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So as of week 9, so before the week 10 game,
Before these last games.
yeah, before these last games, I have thrown less than 3 interceptions all season and more than 2,500 yards. Yet I'm still outside of the top 12 quarterbacks in fantasy points. Who am I? And that was as of all the way up to week 9, so
All
before
right.
week 10.
Absolutely. So before week 9 and before, 2,500 yards, 3 interceptions only outside the top 12 quarterbacks. Who was that? All right. Good. So we're gonna roll that for another week and see if we can get anyone to at least attempt to guess there. Now, how'd your week shape up, Dave? Man, how's your fantasy going?
It was kind of backwards for me. The teams I expected to win, I didn't do so hot, and the other ones that I've kind of, I think the past couple of weeks on here, I've kind of said I'm looking towards the future. They've been stepping up and playing. So,
Yeah.
in all, it was all right though. In all, it was pretty good. I was satisfied. More disappointed in my Eagles in real life.
No. Yeah, we're gonna have time for that.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we're gonna have time for that. Don't ruin that. We're gonna go around to it. Yeah, man. My week was all right. Actually, it's kind of like usual. My fantasy, my dynasty teams are doing pretty well overall. My redraft, not so much. I mean, dynasty, there are some guys going tonight, but as long as we don't let Marquise Goodwin go off for 40 points, I'm good in one league. The other league, I'm up by 42 or 43 points, courtesy of Zach Ertz, and we'll talk about him too. Over, I think he has Odell Beckham going tonight. And don't get me wrong, OBJ can certainly do it, but I feel pretty comfortable with a 42-point lead in that. As far as redraft is concerned, man, it's just I don't know. I can't even call it. Can't even call it, man. It's not going so well this year. But hey, dynasty is where it's at. So I'm really happy my dynasty leagues are going well, and I'll have to do better next year in redraft. I got one team that could possibly still make it, but it's 50-50. Anyhow, all right, guys. We want to thank you once again for coming back. We're going to jump right into it. We got a game coming up here in about an hour, and we definitely want to be settled before then. So we're going to do the Week 10 preview. We are going to do the blame game. The blame game is simply who's underperforming or maybe even overperforming. We want to switch it up a little bit. And who's to blame for it. We're going to do a Week 10 review. We're going to do the Thursday night preview, and then we'll do a quick waiver segment for you guys. So let's go ahead and start off with the Week 10 games here, talk about a few of them. And the one I want to start off with here tonight is Cleveland and Atlanta. Now, we had some weird games this week, and this is one of them. Atlanta gets 330 yards passing through the air, Matt Ryan with 2 touchdowns, 102 passer rating, and they lose. And this is the game they absolutely had to win to keep up with other teams in their division. Well, what's up with Atlanta, man?
The thing that stood out to me here is their defense. The depleted defense showed to hurt them, which it has all season. But the one thing that really made me look at was their run game. Their one-dimensional that they've been all season really hurt them this game. They've been able to mask it the other games because their passing has just been so strong. And like you said, the passing game was still good this game. It just wasn't enough. And, Tevin Coleman with 11 carries, 44 yards, led the team. Nobody else had more than 20.
Right.
And that really showed to be detrimental to them. And then, of course, like you said, the defense didn't help. And then you have the turnovers. Matt Ryan had 2 of them, lost one. 2 fumbles, lost one. Sanu had a fumble and lost it. So,
turnovers
couldn't get it together. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a tough game to call. I mean, you thought that Atlanta would take this without too much fuss. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, Cleveland has been getting better here, but this is a tough game for Atlanta, but not so much in fantasy. I mean, obviously, if you're talking about Tevin Coleman, you weren't very happy, but Julio Jones, a man, got back in the end zone again. Apparently, he likes it there, man. It's nice. They got good food and it's a comfortable ride. He likes it in the end zone. Must be like first class.
Yeah. You realize, like we said last week, man, it's not too bad. Not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, try it out, man. Get your feet wet. They gave you a free subscription for 7 days, and now he's back. He's all in.
Absolutely, yeah, I love it.
Hey, now I want to ask you about Austin Hooper, our man. Is he now considered elite? He had, if I'm not mistaken, 10 receptions for 90 yards and a touchdown. He kind of had I'm going to call it a breakout game because we've seen it before, but now we've seen it to the point where is he in that elite category? Is in that conversation?
He's. I don't know if I personally want to say elite yet. He did have the 10 catches, 56 yards and a touchdown.
Okay.
But he's proven to be a top talent for the Falcons, definitely, and he's a top tight end. With that position in fantasy just being so hard to call, anybody that's getting over 7 receptions a game, which I think Hooper's been the past couple games getting around 6, 7, and then with this game 10, is definitely someone that you have to have and don't even think about starting. So for me, he's definitely a must start. I don't know if I'm excited or if I'm ready to say elite yet, but definitely somebody that I would have to start.
All right, how are you feeling about Calvin Ridley? Because he's been on and off and hot and not hot. Is he a must start for you every week or no?
Yeah, and He's still a must start for me because of the ceiling. So it's basically what you just said. The fact that I know he's on and off, but when you're in a high-powered offense like this,
Right.
And you have that touchdown potential from this guy who has shown to be a capable number 2 receiver on that team and a wide receiver too in fantasy as well, multiple weeks, I think that you still have to roll with him because of that potential to give you great numbers.
Excellent. Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm not sure if he was an every week start for me, but he's definitely not someone that I'm completely down on. I don't think he's had the best of games the last couple of games here. I can't remember how his last week shaped up. Actually, in taking a look here. Yeah, he had 6 for 71 and a touchdown. So yeah, he's still that one of those guys you can put. He kind of reminds me of Tyler Boyd, where he's not. It's not going to be every week, but when he shows up, is right on time. You know what I mean? So I still like him in your lineups. How did Sanu work out for you this week? I know you had a question about him going into the week. Did that go over well for you? Because I know you were mentioning maybe putting someone else in.
Yeah, so I wish I would have played him. I ended up playing MVS.
Okay.
I was deciding between Sanu and Robbie Anderson at first.
Okay.
And I took Anderson out and picked up MVS.
That was it. That was it. Okay. They ended up with about the same amount of points though, didn't they? About 10 each, right?
No, I believe MVS was around 6 or 7.
Are you in standard? Are you in a standard league or PPR?
No. It was PPR. It was PPR.
Hold on a second here. So Sanu had 6 catches, 47 yards. So we'll just go ahead and call that 11 points. Man, now Packers. I'm looking the numbers up here. MVS came out with 6 catches, 40 yards. Right. Yeah. So I mean, it was about the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So it didn't work out too bad for you. Okay. I was just wondering how that went. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about Cleveland, man, because what can you say about Nick Chubb and probably the best game of his career? He probably won't have another game like this. And we may start a new segment, folks. If I'm playing against them, make sure you start him because he tore a hole in me, man. Good night.
Yeah.
What do you see for Chubb going forward?
I love it. As soon as Hyde was traded, I myself, like a lot of other people, did what they could to get Chubb, and was excited to play him. I played him last week and felt like I had to play him this week against the Falcons. One thing that I will say that is very noticeable about the Browns, that's encouraging for Chubb fans, is no matter what the score is, they could be down, they could be up. They're going to give the ball to Chubb. You don't have to worry about, you're going to lose passing downs to Duke Johnson. But when they're losing, you're not going to lose any more passing downs than you were already going to lose. So they're still turning around and they're still believing in Chubb. And you see the potential that Chubb has, the ability that he has. It's exciting. And in saying that, Baker, we were saying Chubb probably won't have another game like this. Baker was very close to perfect passer rating, so I don't know if he'll have another game like that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be the best game of his career because it wasn't for a whole lot of passing yardage.
Right.
But as far as being efficient is concerned, he only had 3 incompletions. So, you may not get another game like that. Anybody had 3 touchdowns as well?
Yes, yeah, looked really good. He looked really good. And then, once again, it was against the Falcons defense, which you don't want to put too much on that because the guys still performed. Mayfield and Chubb, they still balled, but, it's a thing you can't necessarily overlook. I will say this, Jarvis is just, he's upsetting me. He's hurting me. And especially this game, the targets went down. He went to 5. He was getting 9, 10. So that's kind of discouraging to see. I don't want to say that that's going to continue on. I think Jarvis will keep getting his targets. But regardless of the amount of targets he gets, if he's not making anything of them, it's going to be hard to continue to be confident rolling him out.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, I feel the same way. In the same boat there. All right, man. Anything else about this game?
No, Duke Johnson got the touchdown again,
He did,
so I
yeah.
think you are safe to say that even though he only had three carries, that he's going to be used, and especially in PPR, he's a guy that you have to pay attention to and think about playing.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and talk about Washington and the Bucks. Again, another weird, strange game. The Bucks with 400 yards passing, 4 red zone trips, and 3 total points. They had more red zone trips than points. So what do you do with that? And it's this here. I mean, this is the second week in a row where Mike Evans probably gave you a stinker. I mean, I think he had like 8 fantasy points PPR. That's not what you drafted him for. How do you feel about this team now? How do you feel about these pass catchers?
Oh man, I don't. So here's the thing for me. You're not. I don't. It's shown that it doesn't matter what defense it is. You're not stopping the Buccaneers' offense.
No,
that's
they can move the
first
ball.
and foremost. Yeah, that's gonna happen. The issue comes, who on the Buccaneers' offense do you play? Because throughout we've been saying Chris Godwin. We've been preaching that Chris Godwin. I had him on my team, and he wasn't even it's the same team that I was asking about Sanu or Anderson or MBS. I didn't even think about Godwin. I was like, I'm not starting Godwin because he's not. And then he comes in 7 catches for 103 yards. Like,
that should have been your sit. I'm sitting them, so you started. That should have been what's going on.
Yeah, I guess so. And then on top of that, I don't even want to talk about this, but Jaquiz Rogers.
Yeah, you know I was going to bring him up. Where does this happen in life? Like, I have him on one of my fantasy squads because I'm really tight at running back. I'm like, if I got to throw someone in that can get me 4 points, I'll throw him in if it's that bad, if it's a bye week or something like that. No one's trading running backs right now. And he goes off for 102 receiving yards. Like, this is a fluke? Is this a new offensive scheme? Like, how did that happen through the game?
I think I want to say that this was schemed up for the Redskins defense for their secondary. They just wanted to attack those guys in the middle of the field, which, as the yardage and everything shows, it worked.
Right.
If the Buccaneers could have just held on to the ball,
there were some fumbles. So I mean, and that's how it got fluky. Where I think Jaquiz Rogers had a fumble. I believe there was 2 interceptions from Fitz, which he's prone to throw some, but he didn't throw any touchdowns with this one. So I mean, that's kind of how that can happen. But even still, you look at the box score, you're thinking Buccaneers at least 30 points. And they have
definitely. Yeah, that's another thing and what upsets me even more about this game is the Buccaneers defense isn't very good. And so when the Buccaneers have 4 fumbles, lost 2 of them, 2 interceptions, and the Redskins have the ball so much, you're just expecting someone on that team to have this fantasy value where you're just like, wow, like, yeah, they should have blown up.
Right.
But, I mean, not really anybody. Adrian Peterson did what he always does, but, only 6 points because he wasn't able to get a touchdown. Josh Doctson made his day look good because he got in the end zone. But, I mean, the Redskins offense just doesn't really show anyone.
The Redskins, I was actually going to blow past the Redskins. I mean, they are the most unexciting 6-3 team in history. They have to be, right?
Oh, man.
I was going to treat them like
definitely.
we're going to treat the 49ers here in a minute. And just like, okay, we ended the show early tonight because there's nothing to say much about the Redskins. You can't stream Alex Smith, which he was kind of a hot stream at the beginning of the season. Folks like Alex Smith. No, Jordan Reed, he's getting some targets, but he's not panning out to get you the touchdowns because he's touchdown dependent. And he's not Zach Ertz. He's not getting all those receptions. Doxson didn't work out. Who was the other? Who was the
Crowder?
Crowder didn't work. Oh God, Crowder didn't work out. I mean, yeah, I don't have anything to say about them. I mean, yeah, we can move on if you don't.
Well, I'm going to ask you something that we usually don't even talk about in preview or in reviews.
Yeah.
Do you, in this case, are you interested at all, since their defense is so good, in streaming their defense? They've got Texans, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Jags coming up. Is that
Texans,
something
Cowboys,
maybe?
Eagles? No, then actually, now I'm thinking about it, not really. That's actually a pretty tough slate. They said today Kuti is probably pretty close to coming back for the Texans. Then you always have Deshaun Watson, who's a dual threat. They're putting up points. I think the last couple of times we've seen the Texans play, they look pretty dynamic. Cowboys are actually coming around. I mean, it wasn't a prolific day for Dak, but he's looking a lot better. He's looking a lot more like the Dak we've seen previous than the one we've seen in the beginning of the year. And then you always have the Zeke factor. Amari Cooper seems to just stepped right in. Like, I don't know, just stepped right into the lead receiver role and fits in well with what they're trying to do there. I believe he's opening some things up, so to speak, possibly for the running game, so they're looking good. Jags got Leonard Fournette back. They're going to feed him the ball, so if you can't stop the run, you don't want to play that. So, no, I mean, if your current defense is that bad, possibly, Washington has a decent enough defense to slow a team down. Do I think they're going to be the top defense of the week? Not really, but, it just depends on your situation.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, man, let's go ahead and talk about the Rams and Seattle. This was another good game. And, I had this as an upset a couple of weeks ago, thinking that, again, the Rams are going to beat the Saints and then run into a game Seattle team here. They didn't do that, but what stood out to me about this game with Seattle is they wait until the fourth quarter to unleash Russell Wilson. And I need to talk to the coaching staff there. I get it. You're running the ball, and you're running it well. This is not an Adam Gase situation. You're running the ball well, but even still, your best player is Russell Wilson. Why are you taking the ball out of his hands and then saying at the end of the game, okay, we're down, we need you to be Superman? Free Russell. Let him do what he does and go out there and get you guys a lead. Throw the ball a little bit more. They did the same thing versus the Saints. They had to try to have Russell Wilson come back in the fourth quarter, and he almost did. This is twice in a row. But what's standing out to me, though, for fantasy purposes, let's forget that. Rashad Penny, what are you doing with him?
Oh, my gosh. This is Pete Carroll. That made me so mad. Where did he come from? I thought we were just doing Mike Davis and like this is
that's hilarious.
I saw that and I'm watching the game.
You're like me. I thought we were doing Carson at the beginning of the season. He was like, no, we're doing splits.
yeah. Like what is it? Oh my! And I'm thinking, even watching the game, I'm thinking they're saying the wrong name. Like, why they keep saying Penny? Are they? What's the confusion? I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go back to avoiding this Seahawks backfield. Like, I want to avoid the Eagles backfield. Like, I want to avoid. Like, it's just a couple of the Buccaneers backfield. It's just backfields that because it looks like it's just going to be you don't know, because then Pete Carroll came out today. I was looking for reports before this show just to
Carson's
maybe have some kind of confidence. Right. I'm thinking he might say and tell me the split. Even if Carson's coming back, he'd tell me the split. No, he didn't say anything. He just said Carson's going to be back Sunday, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
It's a surprise, man. He wants to keep you on your toes. What's the fun in letting you know who you should start? Okay? He wants you to be surprised. If you get 0 points, oh, well, that's fantasy. If you get 20 points, hey, good job. You picked the right one today. It's like a lottery. No, man, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, Penny looked all right, looked pretty good. You got 3 capable running backs there, and I don't know, honestly, how each one of them is going to get worked on a weekly basis. What I'm hoping happens is Rashad Penny, Chris Carson comes back on Thursday and reestablishes his role. But I don't know if you have 3 backs that's that talented that you can just keep all of them off the field. The problem is you're getting them all work. They're looking pretty good in the game, but it's not translating into you being in the lead in the game. If you're going to play a ball-controlled game, that means you can't be losing. And then try to put it on Russell Wilson in the last 10 minutes of the game is not the way to go. It's going to be a hard backfield to call. I would probably, like you said, I
Other
guess.
than Chris Carson.
Yeah, I'll get ready to say. I guess you could say Chris Carson is safe enough where even if he doesn't get all the work, if there's two main running backs going back and forth, it's likely him and Davis or him and Penny.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And for the Davis owners, one intriguing thing you can look at is even though Penny had the bulk of, well, not really the bulk of the carries, he only had one more carry. He was not used in the pass game at all, and Davis was. So Davis, if you're looking at it from that standpoint, well, I don't want, who's going to take the passing down, you might see Davis take that. That might give him the notch over Penny. But yeah, like you said, if it's not Chris Carson, you might just want to avoid it altogether for now.
Absolutely. Talking about situations to avoid with Seattle, Lockett, Baldwin, or Moore. Who do you have rest of the season?
I wish I had an answer for you. Before this week, it was David Moore. As of this week, it's Tyler Lockett. I don't know. I don't know. These guys, you
never know from one week to the next. Yeah. The only
right,
one that seems to be consistent right now is Nick Vanette, who wasn't supposed to be the guy. It's supposed to be Ed Dixon now, and he's just when Ed Dixon wasn't there, you thought it was Nick Vanette. Then this other guy, Big Will Disley, Big Oklahoma, I'm not sure where he's from. I'm calling him Big Oklahoma. Comes out of nowhere, and he's the man. Then he goes down. You're like, okay, so there's no Ed Dixon, there's no Big Will Disley. It gotta be Vanette time. He gets nothing, zero, Jack, Neil. All of a sudden, Dixon comes back. He has one good game, and Vanette's like, you know what? I think I'm going to show up now. I don't know. You don't know how to call that situation. It's probably not all that important, but, I mean, it's ridiculous. He's the most consistent here over the last couple of weeks, so pass catcher anyhow. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about this season with the pass catchers. They are just running the ball so much. I don't think there's enough opportunity. And who's going to be the man from one week to the next? I don't know. Baldwin did look good. I mean, I watched the game. Baldwin didn't look bad at all as far as how he was moving and how he ran after the catch. I don't know. I don't think it's a health thing. I just don't think they're giving them enough opportunity here to shine. So I guess if I had to say one or the other, I'm going with Lockett. He seems to be the most dynamic out of them that can catch the long bomb. I think maybe David Moore may have been kind of a flash, I know he got a couple of touchdowns at one game, but Lockett seems to be, if you want to call it consistent, the most consistent. Let's talk about the Rams a little bit. We've talked about them a lot, so I'm not going to focus way too much on them. You're starting Gurley. I know you're a golf guy. You like having golf on your team. But the big news is Cooper Kupp went down with an injury. And he tore his ACL. Going to be out for the season. And before I jump into the impact of that, I actually asked you about a trade I was considering. I haven't shot it out there just yet, but I was just wanting to see what your thought process was. In a dynasty league, I'm thinking Golden Tate straight up for Cooper Kupp. There's so many dynamics surrounding that. I don't know. I mean, Golden Tate could end up being very valuable even in this season. Who knows how Cooper Kupp comes back next year? I mean, players are rehabbing from ACLs a lot better than they used to, obviously, because of technology and advances in medicine and all that great stuff in surgery. But still, there's that unknown. Are you comfortable giving up a player who's been as consistent, the model of consistency, 90 catches just about every season, 1,000 yards just about every season, for a guy who is possibly damaged goods?
Yeah, the reason I'm okay with that is twofold. First, because Golden Tate is no longer in the system where he was getting these numbers, and by that I mean, the news of going to the Eagles. That's first and foremost. That's the first reason why. And I wasn't super excited about that pick anyway. Secondly, Cooper Kupp is younger. And so when I'm thinking of dynasty, I'm thinking, okay, age isn't the biggest thing for me, but it is the thing where if I've got two people that are kind of close, then that puts it over the edge for me in a dynasty situation. And then the other thing is I know Cup's role as far as that system goes. Granted, we don't have a large sample of tape with the Eagles, so you can't really put that against him. There's no telling where this is gonna go. He could, and last night, first game is nowhere near enough to know what's gonna happen there. So as you were talking with, you don't know, it's the fear of the unknown with Cup and his injury. I guess that's where I was looking at the fear of the unknown on the other side of not knowing what's going to happen with Tate in that system and knowing Cup's supplanted role is why I was okay with that trade.
Okay. Something I'll be looking at. I got another trade out there right now. I want to evaluate. Hopefully it'll get accepted. We'll see. All right. Now with the Cup injury though, who gets the biggest boost in work? Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, or a tight end, or someone else?
Short answer, I think Brandon Cooks. Well, I say that, and then I have to think about. I don't want to say both, because I think Robert Woods goes back to the mid-range catch. A lot of the mid-range things that Robert Woods can do, I think he'll get those targets back with Cup going down. I was surprised. I didn't know that the Rams had tight ends until yesterday.
There are some on the team, I promise you.
Yeah. That was surprising news for me. But yeah, I think it's going to be a fairly split between Cooks and Woods. I think they're both still going to be great assets week to week. I would like to see Josh Reynolds. We're going to see Josh Reynolds again. Yeah. Obviously, he's going to be the guy that steps in, but I don't think it's going to be any more than what he did when he was, filling in that role at first.
Yeah.
So I think it'll still be.
I'm hoping it's a few more touchdowns for Robert Woods, maybe catching the ball in the middle of the field. He hasn't scored, I believe, since week 4 of the season, and he's having a really good season for the amount of firepower in that offense. Yes, he's having a really good season. You can count on him to get you 13 points a week. That's just kind of who he is. By the beginning of the season, though, he was getting touchdown here or there every other game. So you hope that'll return for him. I probably think it's possibly an uptake for. Yeah, it's kind of hard to call. Gurley as a tight end. They're going to probably even use Gurley even more as a backfield now that he does not have that safety blanket in Cooper Kupp. And then obviously we've seen the tight ends get involved on yesterday. Like you said before, they were some of the biggest disappointments. If you had an idea that one of those tight ends could be something this year, that had to be a big letdown because they hadn't been doing much of anything. In fact, I'm not sure if I've seen a tight end in the end zone this year. I'll be hard-pressed to say that's the only time they've caught a touchdown, but at the same time,
be right.
I might be right. Yeah, I haven't seen it. So, yeah. So I'm thinking Gurley. I think Woods gets a few more touchdowns, and possibly you see a tight end or two every now and again. All right, my man. Do you have anything else about the Rams? Or
I just, moving forward, LA Rams, I would say when y'all are going against the Seahawks, let's try to give Cooper Kupp a little extra Wheaties or whatever it is, because both times he got injured this year was against the Seahawks. So I joke about it, but the injury is awful. I hate it for him. Right. But I just thought that was kind of interesting that it had to happen against these guys.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I know you were trying to procrastinate and talk about Cooper Kupp one more time there. You cannot dodge this. You can't dodge this because I'm not even going to look. Explain yourself, because you had your pina colada, you had your lawn chair, You had your flip-flops on, your sunglasses on. You told me you weren't even going to watch the game. That's how much you were going to watch a cooking show because you didn't care. What happened? What happened with Dallas and Philadelphia, man?
Oh my God! I you know, and that's what really bothers me about this game is I want to find a part where I can be like, well, that's the reason, or
Right.
that's the reason, and I can't. Like, there's the offense to me did not look terrible. The Eagles' offense didn't look. It looked like what we've looked. It looks worse than last year, yes, but it looks like what we've been doing this year, which it needs to get better. If I had to point to one thing, we have to figure out. The Eagles have to figure out a run game. I'm not too at this point. At this point, as a fan, I don't care who it is.
Right.
I don't looking away from fantasy. I don't care who you guys decide, but somebody's got to do it.
Well, Josh Adams looked good when he was given the opportunity. Yeah, he averaged 6.7 yards per carry. I just think they were coming back and could not continue. The coaching staff did say he would get a little more work going forward.
Yeah.
But they've never been the kind of team that committed since the coaching change there. That committed to one running back. Even when they got Jay Ajayi, you're thinking, oh my God, okay, he has to be the guy, and not really. I mean,
right?
He wasn't really the guy. I mean, he got the majority of the work if you had to look at the splits, but it would be so frustrating figuring out who's in the game at what point. Like, why is Wendell Smallwood in the game? Why is Darius Rose in the game now? Why is Clement in the game? Okay, now you're back to Jay Ajayi for a round or two, but I mean, it's just frustrating dealing with that. And what the heck with Corey Clement? I mean, one week he looks like the most talented guy on the team, and next week they don't even. I don't know. I'm confused as you are, and I'm not even a fan.
Yeah, I actually, unfortunately, as a fan, I slipped up last night because I was so used. Josh Adams, like you said, he was looking good.
Right.
I saw him make a block. Well, I thought it was him, and I'm over here. Good block, Josh. Turns out it was Clement. I didn't know Clement had got back in the game. So yeah, that's that whole situation. And then things don't get any better. We lost Ronald Darby. He tore his ACL. He's done for the season. And that we've already missed some corners. We already got our safeties hurt. Derek Barnett's on injury reserve. This is it's looking rough. But from looking at it from stepping off my soapbox.
You're under the soapbox, my friend. There's so much confidence last week. You're under the soapbox. But go ahead.
Yeah, I will say that everything that happened from the offensive side, as far as the passing game, majority of what happened is what I expected. With Tate, I think we're easing Golden Tate into the system, and I don't think we have the time for that.
Right.
With us being 4-5 now, and I was expecting that extra bye week to do, to help a little more. I did see Nelson Aguilar way more than I expected.
That's what I was going to ask you about. With Golden Tate being there and them kind of fulfilling the same role, to me, Aggie feels a little faster, obviously a little younger, but perhaps Tate is a little more reliable and polished. I don't know. This cannot be what they traded for Golden Tate for punt returns. Why is he returning punts? Punt return, like he's not a burner. I didn't get that at all. Like, why is he anyhow? Punt returns and 3 targets a game. That cannot be what you have there to get him for. So, do you see the split going differently going forward, or did this just kind of, I don't know. I'm not sure what to even call it. Light a fire in the Aggie. Now he's back to being good, or what's happening?
That was another thing, and that was the big thing I focused on in watching this game as I was wanting us to just demolish the Cowboys. I was trying to see how much I saw Tate on the field, and I didn't see him even when we got into 3 wide receiver sets or the sets where we have 3 receivers that were flexing out Zach Ertz. I still didn't see him. It was Matthews and Aguilar, and so I was like, well, we were doing that before Tate came. Why And then even on big third downs, we were hitting Jordan Matthews on the sideline for some big catches. And I don't know what to make of. Only thing I can say is, like I said, maybe they're trying to ease Golden Tate into the system, which we're going to have to hurry that up.
Right.
That's not good. We traded the third round. I think I was expecting more of what the Cowboys are doing with Cooper.
That's what I'm getting ready. That's what I'm getting ready to say. Yeah, I mean, they didn't. He rolled right in there. They said, "Listen, we're going to make sure this works for you. We're going to get you some, whatever you want to call it, easy passes or whatever," and got him involved in the offense. And you went out there and made this trade for Tate. And I forgot what they gave up specifically, but they gave up something to get him. And to have him buried as fourth or fifth on the depth chart, and to possibly return punts doesn't make sense. And again, he's only been with the team for 2 weeks. I do understand that, but you make a plan to get him involved. You got this talented guy. You went out there and got him. He has to get in the game. But anyhow, all right, man. Let's talk about Dallas just real quickly here. Not a whole lot. They did what you expect them to do. Again, I kind of alluded to it earlier, talking about. Dak Prescott kind of came out and is looking a lot better. Zeke it. He tore it up, killed it like he's supposed to. The only thing that really stood out to me on the offensive side of the ball for Dallas, outside of them making sure that Amari Cooper is integrated into the offense, is I think they had an offensive lineman go down. Did you get any information on that and how long he may be out, or did you even hear anything about that, or?
Yeah, Zach Martin got hurt, Pro Bowler. He actually came back in the game a couple plays later and finished the game. So yeah, he's fine.
Okay, all right, because he was on the ground for a while in pain. I didn't.
Yeah, it looks scary. Unfortunately, we on this show we don't wish for people to get hurt, but as an Eagles fan, I was a little excited. That was another
that's dirty, man. I gotta be that's dirty.
It was just the one less obstacle we had to go through. But yeah,
he just be that's for the rest of the game. Just out for the rest of the game. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, that's right. He doesn't even have to be hurt. Just tell him on the sideline, look, just rest. We'll just rest you the rest of the. That's all I want. You don't have to be in any pain. They got back to Zeke, that's their bread and butter.
Right.
They went back to just feeding him, not caring what's on the other side, and making sure he got his touches, which ultimately, in my opinion, propelled them to this victory and gave, fantasy owners that reassurance that drafted him in the first round. This is the reason why we did that. Real quick on the Eagles, that I wanted to say real quick. We talked about this, me and you both, and actually you brought it up and it made me think about it.
Right.
That Golden Tate and Zach Ertz were going to be hovering around the same part of the field, and who was going to win out there. Right. Zach Ertz had 16 targets. So I think anything, if you're wondering who's going to win out between Ertz and Tate, as far as who wants to give it to, it's going to be
I was actually getting ready. Before we moved on, I forgot to say this. I don't have any music. We don't have the drops just yet. We're going to get there, folks. Keep on supporting the show. We appreciate it. We'll get there. But I want to take a second and personally thank Zach Ertz. Okay, again, on the team that I'm talking about here, I went up against Nick Chubb and some other guys that had a really good game. I went up against Mark Ingram. All of a sudden wants to show up and show that he can play, and I was down by a significant amount. And Zach, you brought me back, man. You like the necromonger out of the grave, baby. You brought me back like Jesus. I resurrected him. You brought me back from the dead, man. I appreciate everything you did for me last night. Those 40 points were unexpected, but oh so awesome. And it was so awesome to see at the end of the game, they're trying to get down the field, like 3 receptions, bam, 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 right to Ertz. I mean, and I'm just laughing all the way to the bank here, man. I appreciate that, Ertz, man, and thank you for the win. Brought me back, man. All right. Let's go ahead and real quickly talk about this Green Bay Seattle Thursday night matchup. Another great game on Thursday. We've talked about Seattle at length, so we're not going to jump into them a whole lot. But I will say this. Green Bay gives it up on the ground, and obviously Seattle can run it on the ground. How do you see this game working out?
Yeah, I think what I have here is a field day for Russell Wilson. I love Russell Wilson for my Thursday night perspective, or for this week period. If I knew who the back in Seattle was going to be come Thursday, that's who I would say that is going to be
The start of the
amazing.
week. One of the Seattle running backs is my start of the week. I don't know which one, but take a shot.
Yeah, exactly. So in a way to kind of save myself, I just went with the guy that I know is going to play, Russell. I was excited about him. I really hope that Green Bay is going to keep trending towards this Aaron Jones thing that they've got going.
Please. I'm on my knees. McCarthy, I don't have any music. I don't have any backdrops. I just said this a second ago. But if I had some, I would be my neck begging you, please. Keep sweat over here. Hey, man, I need I need Aaron Jones in my life. Look, so I made the trade that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. The guy, this is Dynasty League again, offered me Aaron Jones, offered me Landry, and a first-round pick for David Johnson and Mariota. And I got Mariota out of the deal. And I was torn because I know that DJ is having an off season, but you can really see this. He has way too much talent. They're going to turn it around at some point in time. Get a couple more offensive linemen in there. Second year for the quarterback Rosen. He'll have a better year next year. Open it up a little bit. Maybe a year under Byron Leftwich on the off season, something like that, and things turn around for him. And I didn't want to trade him, but it just made too much sense for this particular year, thinking that he and Aaron Jones are probably even out just about as far as fantasy points are concerned. And then I get Landry, and then I get a backup quarterback in Mariota because I had Flacco, and I didn't want him anymore, so I got Mariota, and I got a first-round draft pick.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
The funny thing is, I traded him DJ, obviously, and he was, I'm not sure how after this week's concerned, but last in our league. I'm thinking, man, I'm with the first overall pick on top of that. And DJ goes off like 40 points. And it's going to help him win the week. I'm like, man, you're messing up my first overall draft pick. But my point is I want me some Aaron Jones. He looked great, and at this point in time, we were kind of, half and half on whether he was going to be the man in the backfield or not, whether he was going to kind of split carries with the Jamal Williams. Nuh-uh. That didn't happen.
Yeah. And he's looked great. That's the thing that hurts, is that it's not anything new to the fans,
right,
or the fantasy owners or the people that's watching it. Aaron Jones has been looking great. So yeah, I just hope that they'll continue to trend towards giving him. And I think that's going to help their offense in whole. I think it's going to help the defense as well. The defense doesn't have to be on the field as much. And then ultimately it helps Aaron Rodgers. I will say this, for Aaron Rodgers owners, you might not be too fond of it. He'll be more efficient, might not get you the yardage and all of that he was doing when he was being Superman for these guys. But, from a real life perspective and an Aaron Jones owner, this is something you definitely want to see moving forward.
Well, he has had to be very, very efficient with his touches. I like the fact that he got a little bit more involved in the passing game. He did 5 targets, which is really good. I think that's probably his season high. This year he got 3 receptions off of that. They tried to target him in a screen game or 2. I've been a little confused and conflicted about Aaron Rodgers this year myself. I don't know what maybe him and Brady, both of them are having really off years here. And I don't know what it is. I know that, we said before that with Aaron Rodgers, some of the guys he had around him before that just kind of knew him, knew where they were supposed to be, where Aaron Rodgers was one of them, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, he's looked not good. Very, very average this year. I believe his passing completion percentage is down into the 60s when he's normally up in the 70s for completion percentage. So, I would say if you have to do something, continue to feed Aaron Jones the ball until the receivers get on the same page with Aaron Rodgers. What about MVS? He didn't have as bad of a game as you thought. I think I love him, especially going forward and in Dynasty. I'm so glad I got him on my Dynasty team. 'Cause I think next year he and Devontae Adams are going to be one heck of a duo.
Yeah, yeah. Tied with Devontae Adams in targets. And if you look at the game, especially, I don't know what I was looking at, but once you made me go back and look at the stat line, the only difference between him and Devontae Adams this week was that Devontae Adams got in the end zone twice.
Right.
So you split, even if you split those, give them one apiece, they had about equal games, and Devontae Adams was drafted in some drafts as early as round one, but majority
round
he was
two,
in mid round two. And so if you're getting that kind of, it might not be consistent as Devontae.
Well, Devontae Adams is a touchdown monster. We knew that coming into the season, which is one reason he was my draft target in most of my leagues, because with Aaron Rodgers, without him, he was getting touchdowns. I think double-digit touchdowns the last couple of years. What I would say is Aaron Rodgers actually missed MVS on a bomb. It may not have went for a touchdown because there was a defender kind of behind him, but he's behind him like 4 or 5 yards. He probably had time to catch up, but that was probably a 40 or 50-yard play right there that Aaron Rodgers missed him on. So yeah, man, MVS, to me, he's locked and loaded in. He's more loaded in to me, and this may be a good comparison. He hasn't had as much success, but I believe in his consistency more than I believe in Calvin Ridley's.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, that's a problem. I have a question. Now, I just want to ask real quick about the return next year of Jake Kumaro, who will be back for the Packers off of injury reserve. Is that, that we saw a lot of Aaron Rodgers was, that became one of Rodgers' favorite targets in preseason.
Yeah, but that's
granted now. Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I just wanted to bring up the question because I thought about it. Like you said, it was preseason, and MVS has got real game time with Rodgers.
Yeah.
And you can see them communicating and such. So, yeah, it was just something I wanted to bring up and ask.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think definitely next year Cobb is gone. So the question is, what's it going to look like between MVS, Allison, maybe Kumaro, and obviously Devontae Adams. We'll see. Anyhow, yeah, man, that's it. I think it's going to be a really good game. I see Seattle pulling this one out. Green Bay, this hasn't quite been the same team they've been in the past, but hopefully Aaron Jones can keep rocking. Let's go ahead and move on, man, to the blame game. I got a few people I want to talk about here, and then we got to do a quick waiver wire and get to the Monday night game here. I'll let you start it off. I'll let you snipe me first. Who do you got for the blame game?
Yeah, my Brady.
Snipe. I knew it was on there. I knew you was going to snipe me. Snipe, go ahead.
It's been a while. It's been a while since we had some snipes. Yeah. Past 3 games, he's on in PPR, 13.8, 15.7, 11.8, and 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
And I blame Gronk. I think Gronk being out and being injured is hurting Brady. It's taking one extra weapon, one safety blanket, one huge reliable weapon off the field. And I think, even with the double teams that Gronk was seeing, I still think those double teams are making it to where less pressure goes towards Brady. And so with that being said, Brady was able to have Gronk to dump it off to James White, the addition of Josh Gordon. So all of that, just Gronk missing time, I think, is affecting Brady a lot.
Yeah. I actually was blaming Amendola. No, he needs that other underneath guy.
Yeah.
Along with Edelman. He's been having those two and they've kind of both been hurt and injured on and off and whatnot. And this is absolutely the worst. So it's probably more Gronk and maybe Father Time than Amendola. But that additional underneath guy, kind of like Aaron Rodgers. He just knows where I want him to be. He knows how I operate. If I don't know, if someone else is not open, I know he's open. I know where he's at. So, But the combination of all that, changes on offense can certainly be uh, or something that's affecting him. So he definitely got me there. All right, my guy's Landry. Um,
Oh gosh, yes.
11 points last week, 4 points this week. And I blame the run game. I blame the run game. It's been looking good the last couple of weeks, and they just haven't had to put the ball up as much as I thought. I also blame Baker Mayfield. He had 3 incompletions yesterday. Guess who he targeted on all 3 of those incompletions? Landry. All of them. Everybody else caught every single pass, but when it came down to Landry, he doesn't want Landry to be great. I'm not sure if something happened in the locker room, and he wants to bring Landry down a peg or two. I don't know. he wasn't as accurate when he threw it to Jarvis Landry as the other guy. So I'm really hoping, because you just heard about my trade. Now that I have him on my team, I'm a lot more interested in what's going to happen with Jarvis Landry. I wasn't high on him going to the Browns, period, quite honestly. But he was getting so many receptions, so many targets. You couldn't ignore it. And when I got an opportunity to get him kind of on the cheap, quite honestly, in that trade, I went ahead and took it. And now I'm hoping that things kind of come to fruition for him in that offense. I don't feel great about it with the emergence of Chubb, with them getting DJ Johnson back involved. I can't remember his first name for the life of me. Every week, Duke John. Every time we talk about it, I forget his name is Duke. With the emergence of him and his coaching change, I'm not optimistic at all. But hopefully, he can still give you a decent PPR floor of 10 and 11 points.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I had a lot of blame games that I could have done this week, and so but I wasn't high on Jarvis either. I didn't draft him anywhere. I traded for him like you did, just because after seeing all those targets. So yeah, You just hope that those end up having a good turnaround.
Right.
So my next one, I actually am looking at Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Moving forward, and this is actually a good blame. I blame the Ravens for not playing him more, and I'm actually happy that they didn't, because I think that there's not much film on Lamar,
okay.
And if Joe Flacco doesn't play these next few games, Lamar Jackson will, they're saying Lamar Robert Griffin, but I'm thinking Lamar, hoping Lamar. And his schedule is Cincinnati, Oakland, Falcons, Chiefs, Buccaneers. It's phenomenal.
Right.
It's a great time for him to come in, and I think he could be exciting and potentially, get you big points in that quarterback position on the ground and through the air. And so, that was
that's one of the reasons I actually had Flacco on my team. I looked at that schedule, and I don't know if the playoffs are out of reach just yet. I don't think they go to Lamar Jackson before the playoffs are out of reach for them. I'll be honest, I don't know if I like a whole lot. Now, as far as fantasy is concerned, he'll get you a lot of yards on the ground. The boy can run, and I think he can pass too. I just don't know if he's quite ready just yet. I don't know how excited I am about Lamar Jackson, but if you're looking for a couple of rushing touchdowns here and there, he can certainly do it. I have a good blame as well. Derrick Henry, my man, he's come out of nowhere here, having an abysmal season for someone with such high hopes at the beginning of the year. And the last 4 weeks, 4 touchdowns. I blame the offense finally moving. I blame Mariota for finally, being back healthy again, and them and the coaches realizing we need to get this guy in the game around the goal line. He's getting some easy touchdowns, some 1-2 yard touchdowns, and he's become fantasy viable and relevant again. I don't know if he's safe to roll in your lineup, but it's good to see some signs of life out of Derrick Henry. I really like him a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely encouraging to see that. My next one is this might be somebody we blamed the entire show, but I'm saying it this week because he was my start of the week.
I wasn't even going to bring this up. I'm done talking about it. Like, I'm so sick and over it at this point in time. I'm finished. I'm finished with Adam Gase. I'll let you take. Here's the baton. I'm passing the sticks, like Le'Veon said. I'm passing the sticks like Le'Veon. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, Kenyon Drake. Oh my gosh! And so I was already upset about his game. It obviously wasn't good. And Frank Gore ended up doing better. But I saw this. Kenyon Drake had 50% of the snaps last game. Only 50. He had 34 68 snaps. Not only last game. This is his 9th straight week where his snap share has been between 45 and 66.
Wow.
Why? Why, Adam? Why are we not? I don't. And I know you're over it, so I know you're just in.
I'm a lifelong enemy, so just welcome to the club.
Yeah, yeah. And I actually wrote down. I blame Adam. He doesn't have enough respect for me to say his last name. He's just Adam to me. I'm just so. I'm Can't stand it.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, no respect at this point in time, man. Like Ronnie Dangerfield, no respect for this. Yeah, I don't know. And look, I can't say too much horrible about this past game. I wish they would use him a little bit more. You've seen two-back systems work. If Frank Gore is your guy, this is just your grinder, fine. But you got to find a way to get the guy that's the best player on your team, the best offensive player on your team, the ball more. There are certain teams that have a pass catching back, and they use him as a dump-off guy. And there are certain teams like the Patriots who use a pass-catching back intentionally. We have things intentionally drawn up for you because you want to get the ball in your hands because good things happen. You're not just a dump-off guy. You're not there if I'm in trouble, maybe I'll flip it to you. No, we got to get you the ball out of the backfield, and you have to intentionally get Drake the ball at least, a good 4 or 5, catches out of the game, and at least, 8 to 10 runs. You got to give him 12 to 13 touches a game. I'm not sure why they won't do it. I don't know, man.
It's a must. The Browns are doing it with Duke Johnson.
Yeah.
Come on. Anyway.
I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, man, our starts of the week. I went back and looked at them actually before we came. We were a little hit or miss. My running back start of the week was Jordan Howard. That flopped. Jarvis Landry. That flopped. Uzama. That flopped. But the one thing I will pat myself on the back about was Baker Mayfield gave you a good game, and I called that Packers defense. 14 PPR points. 14 points for you there. So if you start with the Packers,
okay, yeah,
because the Dolphins did jack, as we knew they would. Anyway, because they don't get their best player the ball. Moving on. Let's go ahead and hit these waivers, man. You sniped Tom Brady from me, so I'm out of blame game. And then we got the game coming on here in 10 minutes. Quick waiver wire. At this point in the season, man, you only got we got 3 more weeks in the regular season for fantasy, so
right, yeah.
Nobody should surprise you. But if Maurice Harris is out there, he seems to be the flavor of the month there in Washington. Everybody else is hurt or whatever. He is getting the targets, if you want to call him that. He got 5 targets last game. So if he's in the waiver wire and you're just desperate, he can possibly get you some points.
Yeah, definitely. I'll just run through all 3 of mine super quick. Josh Reynolds, with Kupp being hurt, might want to take a look there. Saw that he was able to get in the end zone a couple times. If it's not Dynasty, maybe, and I might be higher on Lamar Jackson than most people, but with the schedule coming up and with Joe Flacco is hurt, you might want to look at him. In Dynasty, he's gone. He's definitely gone. But if you're not in Dynasty, it might be somebody you take a look at maybe. And I regret saying this last one, but Rashad Penny, once again, if it's not Dynasty, sorry. If it's not Dynasty, might look into it. The Seahawks are going to feed the hot hand all the time. So
absolutely. And I have T.J. Jones from the Lions. Looks like, wow. Senior moment coming back to ground again. The Jones, the
Marvin
Jones. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Marvin Jones went out with a bone bruise. He may be out. He's weak. He's day to day, but he may be out next week. So they may have no choice but to roll T.J. Jones. They also, I believe, picked up Bruce Ellington. He was out last week. They didn't play him. Maybe to get him acclimated to the offense. Maybe he was hurt. I don't know, but he may get a little run. But the one that I really want to point out to everybody, and you need to do this quickly, the backup quarterback for Cincinnati, because Andy Dalton sucks. He deserves to be benched. He's constantly underwhelming. I think his name is Jeff Driscoll. I don't care.
Driscoll, yeah.
It doesn't matter. Let's get the red rifle.
Like Cincinnati.
Yeah, let's get him out. Let's get him out of here because he has not done what he was supposed to do. He flirted with greatness at the beginning of the year, kind of showed us what he could do, and he's flopped again. You may get some more Driscoll at the end of this doggone, because if Marvin's going out, he's taking the red rifle with him.
Absolutely. Yeah, look at it.
Anyhow. Go ahead.
Real quick. I just wanted to mention this. We can get more into this on Thursday show, but I just wanted to mention this since the waivers go through before that. Brandon Marshall signed with the Saints.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for wide receiver help in a high-powered offense, you might want to, you can take a look there. We'll give you more analysis on that on a Thursday show, but just wanted to make sure you guys knew that.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that's the end of the show, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed it. David was a blast. As always, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Anything else for the people, Dave?
Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your football. Thanks.
We're signing off. Bye now.